Hey guys, my name is Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille, and this is our chain mail tutorial channel. Hey guys, a big hi, hello, welcome, how are you? Thanks for popping in and spending some time with me today. So today I'm doing a redo video. This video was first filmed back in 25th of February 2017. It was one of the ones we did on Facebook Live originally, so it's in need of a refresh. So the one we're doing today is Callisto Weave. Alright guys, let's get into it. Okay, so I've made up some sample pieces of the Callisto Weave for you. The ring sizes I used to make up these samples will be appearing here on the side of the screen. They'll also be listed down in the description section that you can find down below the video. But to run through them quickly with you, this version over here is our 14 gauge AWG, which is 1.6mm diameter wire. Now the rings used here, the big ones, are 3/8 of an inch or 9.53mm, and the smaller ones, the anodized rings, are 1/4 of an inch or 6.35mm. The next size here is our 16 gauge AWG, 1.2mm diameter wire. The large outer rings are 9/32 of an inch or 7.14mm, and the inner rings are 3/16 of an inch or 4.76mm ID. The next one you can see is the 18 gauge version, which is 1mm diameter wire. The large rings on the outside are 5.75mm, and the coloured rings on the inside are 5/32 of an inch or 3.97mm ID. And lastly, the 20 gauge AWG version, 0.8mm diameter wire. The large rings on the outside are 4.75mm, and the smaller coloured rings down the middle are 1/8 of an inch or 3.18mm. So as you can see, Callisto is I guess a helm variant would be the best way to describe it. It's a very open weave, it's a very loose weave. There's a lot of movement within the weave. I'll admit it, it's not one of my favorite weaves, but if you're after something that has some movement and a lot of flexibility, then this is definitely the weave for you. Okay, to start this weave, we're going to create a simple chain. So that's a chain that is just 1, 1, 1 for the length that you require your weave to be. So if you're making a bracelet, guys, don't forget to allow for clasp. But yeah, just make up a simple 1, 1, 1 chain for the length that you want the final weave to be. You guys go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here to show you what the next step is. Okay, so I've got my chain made up to the length that I want my bracelet to be, and you can see I've put a twist tie in both ends. You don't really need one at the end if you don't like. It's just something I prefer to do. It just helps me keep the whole thing a little bit more under control. But I would advise putting at least one twist tie at the beginning. It's just going to make holding onto that weave as you start it a little bit simpler. So once you've got your inner chain to the length that you require the weave to be, you're going to want to take up one of your larger rings, and we want to feed this ring through the first and the third ring in our weave so that it encircles that second ring. So to do that, we just feed our large ring just straight through the middle of the first and the third ring, and then close it up. Okay, and your work should look like this. Next we take up another large ring, and this time we're going to put it through the third and the fifth ring in our weave. Okay, again encircling that ring in the middle there. And we want to do that for the length the simple chain. Okay, so just going around alternate rings. So we're picking up the ring that we had before, that we used before, skipping the next one, and then going through the following ring. Okay, and we go all the way down the length of our bracelet. So you guys go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here when you're ready to show you what we do next. Okay, so as you can see, I have added those large rings all the way down my weave, going through alternating rings. And now I'm going to go back to the beginning of my work. Now I'm going to use a different coloured ring here. Unnecessarily, if I was making this up as a piece, I wouldn't incorporate another colour, but that's totally up to you guys. But I'm doing this just so you can see what happens next. Okay, so we want to go back to the rings this time that we've encircled with the large rings previously. Okay, so that's all these rings that are sitting inside the bright aluminium rings. Okay, so to place our next ring, I'm going to pick up another large ring, and I'm going to come in through the back of the first ring here that I want to weave into. So in through the back of that encircled ring and pick it up, bring my work around and go through the front of the previously encircled ring. Okay, and close my ring up. Okay, and your work should look like this. And I just want to repeat that all the way down our piece of maille. So I'm going down to the next free ring, this one here that we haven't put a ring through yet. I'm going to come in from behind it, or down from the top here, and pick it up through the back, swing my ring around, and pick up the previous one through the front. Close that ring up. Okay, and we just do that again for the next one. Going down to the next ring that's encircled that doesn't have a large ring going through the middle of it yet. Scooping it up from behind, so I'm going through the back of it, and then coming around and going through the front. Okay. So just keep going like that, guys, until you've reached the end of your piece. I've just got one more to place. Okay, so you go ahead and finish your work off, guys, and when you're done, I will meet you back here to show you our next step. Okay, so this is what our work currently looks like. We're going to flip it over to the other side, and we're going to do those same steps on the other side of our work. So again, taking up an opened large ring, we're going to put it through the back of the same, or put it through the rings that we put the previous rings on the other side. So we're going to mirror that. So we're just going to come straight through the back of that second ring there, bring it around and go through the front of the first ring, close it up, and that's what our work should now look like. So you can see that we've got two rings sitting on top of each other with our original middle row sandwiched in the middle. Okay, and we just want to repeat that all the way down the length of our chain. So again, going down to the next one in our sequence, picking up that ring through the back, swinging around and picking up the previously placed ring through the front, and just doing that all the way until we reach the end. Okay, this one's a much simpler than the other side because your center rings are already taking up the position that we need them in, and it's quite easy to just slip our new rings into place. But there you go, guys, that's it. That's all there is to Callisto weave. Alright guys, well that's it. That's the video tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it and it was of benefit to you, and it was much better quality than the previous video. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Share the video if you like. While you're here, don't forget to check out some of the other videos we've got. We've got plenty for you. You might want to consider becoming a subscriber if you're not one. That would be awesome. And last but not least, guys, don't forget to give the shop link up here in the corner a little bit of love and affection, because that's where we sell the bits and bobs and thingamajigs you're going to need to make up this weave and many others. Alright guys, thanks once again for popping in and seeing me. I hope you're keeping safe and well, and that I will catch up with you again sometime in the very near future. Bye now.